Good morning, almost afternoon. It is Sunday, and I haven't been telling you guys about something. So, recently, Felix, the guy with the yellow bike, if you watch my live feed on Instagram, had both my bike and his bike at the shop, and I was going over everything they had done to his. It's like the ITR yellow with the carbon fiber accents all throughout it. He asked me to go in on a build with him, so I'm going to be going to his house now. It's probably going to be a 3-4 part video that I'll do, and we're basically going to do a build from the ground up. I mean, this thing is just bare frame right now. Everything's already been powder coated and painted, so all we have to do is assemble, get the harness done, get all buttoned up, tune it, and get the bike done. So it'll be a fun thing to watch. I know a lot of you were asking me, oh, can you do a ground up build? Well, this is the chance now. This is the opportunity to watch, go from the bottom up. It'll probably be a lot of like fast forwarding through, and just make it quicker so you can see everything. It's gonna be kind of boring. Just see you turn a wrench. So I'll do that, and then I don't know. I hope you enjoy it. It should be a fun little build, and then we'll take it out for a ride after, see how it does. It won't be done today. I'll tell you that right now, because I have a lot of people call and ask, oh yeah, I'm gonna try to bang out a build in a weekend, which you can. I'm not saying you can't. But usually you run into issues like that. You really want to take your time when you're putting a build together, make sure everything's done correctly. You don't want to have any loose ends, and then you have to backtrack, and you keep going back, taking more parts off, putting them back on, taking parts off, trying to figure out what the problem is. So it's always recommended to take your time with a build. I know you're excited. I know you want to get it done. I've been the same way, and I still do it. I still make mistakes all the time. So we're going to go ahead to Felix's and get the build going. See you there. Alright, we're at Felix's house. Now, this bike has more parts. It's almost overwhelming right now, and I've seen a lot of stuff. There's a lot here. Let me just, I don't know what to say. I'm just going to go ahead and start shooting it off. So we have exhaust. Now, everything is painted. So this is going to be a blast when we have to go to mount stuff on, because it's going to need a lot of extra grinding, and then grounds is a huge issue always, so you want to make sure you grind everything out for the ground. But I mean, fuel pump, it's got this big compressor on the side welded up to brackets for air suspension in the rear. We painted the battery trays, got some handlebars, painted the gas tank, the forks, triple trees, got his gauge for the air, painted the frame. Gonna have to grind this down for the grounds. Painted the hub. It's got the COSO gauge. Got some front end components. Got all the air ride components, carbs, more painted calipers. This is disc rear and disc front, so he's got dual disc brakes, ankle biter, 171 motor, everything painted. The TRS wheels all painted. Seat frame. Engine mount, front frame guard. This plate goes somewhere in the front, and it holds the compressor here, or the compressor. That is heavy. So it's a good thing he's doing a 171, because he's gonna need it with a lot of the extra weight that he's adding onto it. I mean, even painted the manifold. So there's a lot of work ahead, but fortunately Felix and I, we can get it done. Let's go back over here. You can see, hopefully, I mean, this looks really cool with the pipe, with the white and the matte black and the red. I'm just hoping that it can hold up to the heat, because these pipes get really hot. We've tried a lot of different things as I've gone over in other videos, and it hasn't worked out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the infamous Felix. Quendo tuning.
Oh no, don't say that.
Had to throw it out there.
Oh, thank you.
If you watch the live feed, this was his bike. His is the Type R yellow with the carbon. It's a beautiful build. 171, thing's fast. but he's gonna be the one I'm doing all this with. We're gonna try to knock this out between both of our knowledge. What are you thinking, man?
It's gonna be fun. Can't wait. It's different.
It's a lot of new things for us, huh?
Air ride is the biggest thing right now. I
Yeah.
mean, it's gonna be a beautiful build, but the air ride is gonna be my nemesis right now.
I'm saying it's a good thing he did 171 with all this extra weight put on it.
Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna pack some weight on this thing. So stay tuned for sure.
I'm going to stop that time lapse briefly just to show you. I know everybody likes attention to detail, but stuff like this, we were painting all the bolts. This makes it super difficult. Now the painter, I guess who did it, said, yeah, we can do it, it can be done, it'll still work. This is the correct size for this because we have spare bolts, but it will not go in there at all. So now with everything that's painted like that bolt wise, probably gonna have to go in there, clean out, and it's just gonna take a lot longer for this build to go ahead. Another bump in the road. What Felix is doing is he's grounding out the frame right now so that the front and rear frame can touch each other, because we're going to run a ground from the negative battery to the front frame, and it'll transfer through into the rear to make it a little bit better for all the electronics that he's running. It's always good to have really good grounds. Keep running into more and more problems. The guy whose bike it is, his painter or powder coater assured him that he's done plenty of bolts before where he's powdered the bolts and you can still use them. Well, we're running into multiple issues. I'm just trying to assemble stuff outside of it. You probably didn't see me in the picture, but I'm trying to assemble everything out here and nothing is fitting. So you can see what I'm saying. This right here is the frame bolt, called the dog bone, that goes on the frame here. It usually just sits like that. These are the bolts that go into it. You can see, sorry, because the heads are painted, it does not fit. So now the bolts won't go through, and there are, as you can see, like hundreds of parts here that all are done with the bolts in white on top of everything else being powdered. So we just text messaged the guy and let him know what's going on, because parts like this, like the stem neck, that's not going to work because that's going to be too thick, and the powder, when Felix is grinding it, said that it was laid on real heavy. So right now what's happening is everything that has like a recess in it where the bolt would sit into, like this, the bracket, the neck, seat frame, just all the parts essentially, it's not going to work because one, it's hard to get the Allen head into the bolt itself, but then two, it doesn't fit in the recess. So essentially we might have to go back to the regular stainless steel bolts. We're we're gonna see what happens, because right now it's gonna take a lot longer to do this build. So Felix went from a ruck builder to a professional sander.
This sucks. Sucks so bad.
So we have to go through now. Remember I pointed out about how heavy the powder is? We have to sand all these little points. And if it still doesn't fit, then we have to sand the inside of the bolt so that you can still see the white at the top. But then therein lies the
Sorry.
therein lies the, it's like my sensor. Therein lies the issue where the Allen head won't fit in that because it's nice and smooth in there. Too heavy. Too much. Alright, it's now been, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours?
About?
Like 4 or 5 hours, yeah.
Too long.
Too long. So this bike probably should have been a rolling chassis by now, normally. You got another fingerprint on there. Alright, should have been a rolling chassis by now for sure. Especially with the knowledge between the both of us. But with all these bolts, every single one, we're having problems. So we have to grind stuff down, try to make it work. It's being a kind of pain. And then whoever powder coated or painted it didn't give us all the bolts back. So for instance, this caliper right here, bolt missing, bolt missing, bolt missing, bolt missing. The powder is too thick on the hub, so it's pushing the hub outwards and rubbing against the caliper, so it's very difficult. We have the air shock on. The powder was so thick right here, we had to put longer bolts in and sand it down. Felix had to tap out other ones. We had to sand down the spacer in between here. It was too thick. Every single piece that has a hole in it, like all these, anything that has a hole like this in there, we have to tap out so that the bolt can fit through, because otherwise it was too thick and the bolts would not fit through. We have the air suspension bolted on, well, at least the motor, fuel pump, this heavy steel bracket. It's like a chest plate for body armor. Start doing the pegs. We cannot do anything with the front end right now because we need a lower race for the triple tree. We have an old triple tree that has one on there, but if anyone's done it before, you know how much of a pain it is. So we're gonna go with the new lower race. We did the gas cab cover, and right now Felix is wrapping up on the ankle biter.
Fine.
Now,
Can't use any of the bolts because none of the Allen fit on it.
so you can see the problem he's having right now is he can't get in there, so he has to use this. Nothing. So he's having to switch out all these ankle biter bolts for regular stainless, which I was afraid that we were going to have to do anyways, because even you can see right here, we weren't able to fit the bolt in. There's a lot of things on this bike that aren't going as smoothly as it should because of powder and paint. So just take that in a note when you're doing your build, to be very, very careful with how you powder or how you paint things. It can be done, as you can see, but it has to be done carefully, and a lot of things is the powder coater doesn't know where each bolt or piece go or what goes into it, so they don't really take the time to know. Some powder coaters who've done the ruckuses before will know, or if you tape it off yourself, they'll figure it out. But that's what we have done so far for today.
It's sad.
It's sad. I'm probably gonna have to take off soon, so we'll call it quits and then have to make a second attempt. There are more parts that we're gonna have to get tomorrow at the shop, like I think he said he's gonna order the oil race, so we'll just pick it up from work, and then bolts. Have to take a bolts list and just start knocking them off for him. But you can see we still have a lot of this is the front end stuff: handlebars, grips, battery. There's some pegs and stuff that we're not going to use. The stem neck bolt, you can see, won't fit through because it's too big, so we're going to have to open that up. Handlebars, levers, forks. Still have the wing, and then the wheels. And we'll worry about the exhaust once everything else is done. We really want to get this all buttoned up. Once we have it a rolling chassis, we'll take the harness, we'll run the harness down, see what we have to take out, see what we were going to leave on. That will be it for now. Felix?
Till next time.